Anderson Commons is known to be environment friendly, but some might wonder if napkin usage in the dining hall is all that environmentally sufficient. Residential dining manager Cindy Hoganson gives us insight on just how napkins are used here.
So in Anderson Commons, we use about 9,000 napkins a day. The current napkins that we use in Anderson Commons are a very basic napkin. They're cheap napkins, they're single ply, and they are about a half a cent a piece. So if you do the math, that's about $45 per day that we spend in napkins.
Anderson Commons has assessed different ways to limit the use of napkins. One approach was strategic placement of the napkins.
Anderson Commons opening in 2007 in the old dining center in Knutson, we used to have the napkins centrally located in one spot in the dining center, and so they were all located right next to the silverware. And what we were finding then were, as students went through the line and got their silverware, they'd also pick up their napkin, and most of them would kind of overestimate how many napkins they were going to need, because once they sat down, they didn't want to have to get back up and get more napkins. And so what we found was when we came into Anderson Commons and put all the napkins on each individual table, usage actually dropped.
To get a customer perspective on napkin use, we interview Concordia student Mitch Mesner.
I think if you're just a clean person, and eat like in a civilized manner, you shouldn't need more than one napkin or two. People grab stacks of them and use them all up and just toss them and waste them,
Other alternatives to napkins have been explored. One idea was to use cloths instead of napkins.
Generally, using cloth or linens is more expensive, mostly for the initial purchase, and then for laundering them, there's a lot of high cost and energy that goes in associated with that. Right now, we use cloth or linen in a lot of our catering events, and to launder one napkin is about 15 cents a piece. So if you were to think of Anderson Commons, and if you would think for those 3,000 meals a day, if each student used one napkin and we laundered those, which we would, that would be about $450 cost in just laundering the napkins per day. And so we would have to compare that cost compared to the current $45 per day that we spend on disposable paper napkins.
So it seems as though Anderson Commons is going about being environmentally sustainable well within their means. Through the use of these napkins, high costs and excessive energy use are prevented. Perhaps in the future, a more sustainable alternative will present itself, but for now, Anderson Commons seems to be putting forth their best efforts. For Cord Air, this is Mike Wilson here with Josh White.